Evening, everyone. Thought I'd wait a second and see if we're online. We're here in our living room, and I was watching a show the other day, and the gentleman who was doing the interviewing was talking about couples working together, and he said, I don't see too many couples working together online. And my husband and I have been doing this for a long time, working together, and we complement each other. He does one part of the business, I do another, and we will work together on some other things. And it's interesting to see how other couples work together too. So we're in here to encourage you to leverage each other in your households and help each other and grow. And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about Sec Form 4, which is something I don't fully understand, but he's going to teach us tonight.
So here we are talking about couples working together, and she doesn't understand it. So actually, part of the business that I do comes with the use of certain tools. And Sec Form 4, well, years ago I was trained by an investor, a man who had professionally over $1 trillion, not $1 billion, $1 trillion under his own management. He is retired now, but he took me under wing and he taught me. And one of the tools that I learned to use as a result of his contrarian teaching concerning the markets, the financial markets, was Sec Form 4. You have to understand what Sec Form 4 is. Sometimes she and I will be discussing, and we always do, the different aspects of the business. But one of the things we have to learn, or actually we have to take into account, is the state of the economy. Now, nobody can know everything about the economy, of course. But certain areas I do understand quite well. Sec Form 4 is the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission's Form 4. Now this next statement is going to sound ominous. It really isn't. But Sec Form 4 is to be filled out by what they call insider traders. The insiders. You've heard a lot about the term insiders. Insiders can do an awful lot since they have insider information, meaning the CEOs, the CFOs, and others that manage their own company. The big companies, and all the big companies in the markets, the stock markets, have their insiders. The CEOs, CFOs, those that own 10% of the stock holdings. Now these individuals, when she and I are making decisions, what tools to use, what markets to approach, what client or customers we're seeking, I'll look at the state of the economy. And remember, I'm not a financial planner. And so I don't give advice on what you should do per se as far as investing, but a business is an investment. We both know that, and we work together in that investment. A business is much more powerful because it can continue on long after you've let go of your stocks, or a stock isn't performing well. A business can continue to do well if you pay attention to it, and it can take care of you in your latter years, actually all your life. Now, to run the business, you have to know something about the economy. What if, for example, the insiders, and I was just looking at one tonight, as a matter of fact, right before we did this. I'm not going to tell you the name of the very large, very popular company. Now, that particular company, what if I were to tell you that what I saw tonight is that all the insiders, maybe there's an exception, CEOs, CFOs who own extensive amounts of stock holdings of their own company, had divulged on Sec Form 4 the fact that they were selling. Now, for one company, I know what I conclude. The inside management knows something, and they generally have a window of about 6 months to look into the future. And since they're all selling, not one or two, but all of them were selling, all I saw was a massive amount of sales. That's why I'm not going to tell you what the stock was. That tells me they know something about the performance of their business and vis-a-vis the market, their customers. Now, you should have that kind of information. Now, you're not a big corporation. But what if you were to see the insiders in a whole sector, let's say banking, financials, and the insiders on all those major companies were selling? You saw in Sec Form 4 they were all selling because they have to divulge it. If they don't, then it's illegal insider trading. When they're all divulging it. If you knew the whole sector was in trouble, you'd know something about, for example, in this case, my hypothetical example, the loan industry. And those alleged loans that they're putting out there, they may not be putting them out there. Well, what if that were the case? you'd know something about the market conditions. If people aren't getting what they perceive to be loans in the future, what about your customers in the future? What if you saw the retail market was having difficulties and the insiders in those companies were all selling? That might tell you something about what your clients might be buying or selling. Maybe they're tightening their belts. The point is that we do work together. Each one of us has strengths. I've been trained to deal with market conditions and the marketing side of it. She's trained in other areas. But we bring that together. We work as a couple. I want to encourage you, if you can do that, by all means do it. We're certainly stronger as a couple than if we were doing this independently of one of another. So that's just one tool. But the more important point is that we work in skills and areas where we're both strong, and then we unite our counsels in evaluating the thing that's very dear to us, and that's the investment we have in our company and for our futures. So hope that helps. I'm not going to tell you what that stock is, so don't ask. But the fact is, there are tools you can learn to use. There are quite literally thousands of tools online you can learn to use. Now, obviously, we don't learn all those tools, but think of the leverage it gives you to reach your markets. In any event, that's just one example for this evening.
I'm Lori, and this is Wayne, and we're at Leveraging Influence. And like I said last night, I talked to you a little bit about Archimedes. We are that, he said that, give me that lever long enough and the fulcrum to put it on, and I can leverage the world. I can move the world. And we're here helping you with the tools, with the knowledge to put it on that fulcrum and leverage yourself, leverage your business, and let us help you do that. You have a good evening, and we're so glad you joined us tonight. Thank you so much, and God bless. Good night. Press on.